before we continue with lecture, I want to open us up to some areas of skills that to begin to give some attention to as we learn through, right? There are so many things that we need to give attention to. I'm aware that we have a lot of people that have registered for this particular conference. We have students almost across the southwest Nigeria, north central Nigeria, and we also have students outside the country. That's really interesting, and that makes it a bit difficult. But again, we're going to find a way to manage it. Having looked at the number of students that are registered across almost 27 universities, also come to realize that we have about 15 to 20 of them studying different courses. And what we want to do in this conference, which is the aspect I'm going to take, is to find a way to be able to look at each of those courses, that is discipline by discipline, and look at the curriculum from 100 level till the point of graduation, and help you bring out at least few courses that you need to give attention to, and the kind of skills you should be looking out for in each of those courses. I was thinking I'll be able to do them at a stretch. Definitely, it's going to take me hours to be able to construct all of those curriculum in respect to the degree you are pursuing. But what I'm going to do before we bring Mrs. Stella Komolapo up for our presentation, I'm going to look at just 2 fields of study. Hopefully, by the time I come back again, I will be able to look at 3, 4, 5 other disciplines, so that you'll be able to revise all of the technicalities that Dr. Adepayo conveyed. Be able to revise them together. All right, so let me quickly look at the 100 level, and it will amaze you that if you have done or if you do your 100 level the way you needed to do them as a student, you can continue to your organization. With the skills that you develop, I'll just take a course, a general course that's applicable to all fields. All fields, not especially in Nigeria or in Africa. This course I'm developing is applicable to all fields of learning. And if you understand the bundles of skills, I'm going to pick out 5 skills from that particular course. It's a popular course that we call Use of English. Use of English. In my own institution at Federal University of Technology, Akure, we call it Use of English. That's the title. And the course code is JS 101. So, and every student in my own university is expected to register for that course. And I want to bring out 5 skills out of that course. And that's what you are expected to do to all your courses. Dr. Adebayo mentioned something that no lecturer can teach you everything. Because again, every interface that you have with the lecturer will possibly be maybe 2 hours in a week, right? If you get more, maybe 3 hours in a week for 15 weeks or for 13 weeks of learning of lecture, then you are done with that particular course. So if you look at the number of hours you've used in a week, there's an average of 2 hours. So in a month, that's just 8 hours. It's contact hours. If you look that across 3 months, That is 24 contact hours, right? That's 24 contact hours. So which means for each course of study per semester, the best total number of contact hours you can have with the lecturer will possibly be 24 hours. Right? Some may get 32 contact hours. Right? But in most cases, it's a bit difficult. So which means if you interact with your GNS lecturer for a semester, for example, the GNS 101, you possibly might be having an average of 24 contact hours with that lecturer. And I bring it to you now that 24 contact hours, even though you will be examined and you are expected to do well, like some of the questions some of you have asked, you have your A. The question will now be, what are the skills that are trapped within that course? And I want to bring out five out of it. I'm sure every one of you here have done GNS 101, use of English. I'm sure a lot of you had A in that course. And some of you possibly will just rumble each time you attend class and you just ask questions. What's the benefit of this course? And some of you possibly miss some of the classes. And sometimes you go there and just sit at the back because you think you know those things. Or you are not seeing the things attached to it. From my findings, I'm not a GNS lecturer. I'm a lecturer, I'm an educator. Right? I looked at that curriculum and I realized that one major component for GNS 101 is of English is time management. Time management. Time management. In fact, they have to put that particular curriculum into that GNS 101 to teach you time management. Now, the question will be, you've written that course and you have passed. Can you beat your chest that you know how to manage time? And if someone should call you to become, if someone is looking for a PA, a reliable PA, do you think you can put up a resume that can get you that job? Because one of the requisites of becoming a reliable PA is your ability to manage your time and manage the time of the person you are supporting. And that is what GNS 101 are come to teach you. The question will be, can you manage time now? I will study that course. That is what. Question will now be, what are the tools to manage time? Are you taking your time outside that particular course to do some research and ask, maybe Google or your ChatGPT, as most of you are used to it, that what are the softwares that can help you to manage time? Because it's a skill. It's a skill. Little wonder we have so many students who take under serious pressure because they don't know that that is a skill. We've seen so many students who oversleep or overplay or over enjoy the ambience of the school environment to the detriment of their course of study. So one of the skills in there, if you are not taking time to look at it, is time management. Time management. And one popular software that can help you to manage time management. One of them is Trello. You can take your time to look at Trello. Trello is a very good time management software. Fine, you were not taught Trello in the curriculum. The problem is on you. The problem is on you to go out and look out for those software that can help you to manage time. You must be able to do that. Very, very important. And from the first speaker to the second speaker, the major issue of resume. I'm sure when Mrs. Stella comes up with some of practical illustrations and case scenarios that I'm going to share to you before our lecture starts, you will see how you can incorporate most of these things into building your resume. Because one of these most scarce resources all over the world is time. And time cannot be recovered. When spent is spent. You cannot regenerate time. Never. And that is why it's anywhere in the world, people are looking for a way to manage time. The reason why people encourage you in the first place is because they want to buy your time. So if I have 24 hours, that means I can only work for 24 hours. So which means if I need more hours, all I need to do is to look for someone to employ that will work for me for another 8 hours. So the person will work for me 8 hours, doing nothing. So I've bought 8 hours to add to my 24 hours. Assuming I will never sleep. That means I don't have 2 hours to do other things. So if I'm going to employ another person, I can buy another 8 hours of that person and add to mine. Then I have 40 hours to accomplish my task. So when we bring in people into organization, or we bring people into our life as managers, one of the things we look out for is how good are they in managing time. And that's what GNS 101 has taught from onset. That's number one. Number two, skills that I realized in GNS 101. It's a general course. Most of you have taken in that course. That course has what we call study skills. It has study skills. Study skills. Inside of it. The question will be, do you know how to carry out the study of an issue, or of a debate, of an environment? What is a study? And how do you unravel things to study within the components? That's what GNS 101. Is that what you taught you guys? That's what it is. It's a skill. The question will be, what are the skills, what are the software to carry out, to develop study skills, or to initiate study skills? One of the participants came in, because a lot of things is happening in your world, in our world, and in your time, and you can't be left behind. One of these participants, when he came into this hall, one of the things he asked me is that, can I share the link to this conference with you? Why? Because I said, why? Because you are here already. Why do you need a link? He said, no, that he wants to trigger AI note taker. That with the AI note taker, I can have all of the transcription for this seminar and possibly have them type automatically. So it becomes a compendium, a notes. Right. So again, that's one of the tools that you can use to study an environment. In fact, today, you can take a study of a particular location without you needing to leave your environment. Someone traveled almost 400 kilometers to my office last week, this week, just because he wants me to administer a questionnaire for him. 400 kilometers, he traveled down. And I said, why would you have to travel 400 kilometers, 400 kilometers, just for me to fill out a questionnaire? He said, so that I will be your time and politics. I said, really? How many places will you travel to? Just for an expert to attend to your questionnaire. Can't you put it in and send me the link and you get it really fine? She was confused. She has never heard of that. She thought traveling 100 kilometers will enable me to see her and feel it and give it to her. She can return. Just the way some Africans today will never eat a pound of yam that is pounded with pound per sheep. They will wait for the one they will pound so that the sweat will enter the water and the catarrh will enter, everything will enter what they can use. You know, the world has moved. Some of those things that produced results 10 years ago produce no result now. And you need to wake up. You need to be able to find a way to unwrap all the things you do. And that is why your curriculum is in courses. Your course of study, they are segmented in courses. It is you, the homework is on you, is to look at them and check out what are the relevant skills that comes with this package. And begin to look for a way to address them, learn them. Most especially the one that have to do with life, or the one that have to do with your passion. It's a pointer that you obviously do well if you do those things. So study skills to have them in GNS 101. One other skills that we have in GNS 101 is your note making. Note making, paraphrasing. You pick a textbook of 200 pages and you are taught skills on how to paraphrase them maybe to 20 pages. There are 200 pages to 20 pages, or 200 pages to 2 pages. Those are skills. Someone asked me at some point and said, how do you do those things? Because I hardly go with textbook to class. And I said, what I do is that I can summarize a 300 textbook into 1 page. 300 textbook into 1 page. It's not as if I learned it overnight, but this I practice and practice over and over. So the point that if I'm to teach a course, all I need is 1 paper. Everything. The textbook is already summarized with images, with flow charts, that when I pick it at any point in time, I'm ready to go. And that's why I don't go with notebook to class. And I said, for students as well, if you understand the art of note taking, you can actually compress a particular situation and put it down. I was told of a particular professional sometimes ago who obviously each time he attends the meeting, he doesn't write anything. Just listening. And the moment they finish the meeting, we tell them to take just 2, 3, 4 minutes. And we will quickly put down whatever it is by diagram, by arrow, and all of that. And we put paper in his pocket. He gets back home and expand that small paper into all of these discussions of 2 hours, 3 hours that happened in the meeting. That's what GNS 101 had brought to you. The art of note making, how you can make sense. Remember in your mathematics, you were taught how to do expansion and compression of equation. So note making is your ability to be able to compress. Is to be able to expand what has been compressed. And the flip side of it is note taking. You also taught a skill, note taking in your GNS. Am I correct? That's what you have in your GNS. Now, I've brought out at least 4 skills. Do you know that 4 skills are some of the skills they pay for in the marketplace? Ability to take notes. And when you are taking notes by your hand, it means that you have the ability to develop skills of giving attention to things. And that's some of the things that managers are looking for. People who can see beyond themselves. People who can see ahead. And you cannot just develop that skill overnight. It starts by your ability to learn how to take notes. Taking notes. Someone is talking, taking notes. Taking notes. Taking notes. It helps you to be able to see ahead. Because of our time, I will rush them. There is this particular popular course that is being taken in my institution as well, which we call the engineering drawing, MEE. It's a nightmare to most freshers. And they ask, why will I be doing engineering drawing? I'm doing this, why will I be doing it? Now, I don't go with popular demand. Like I used to tell my students, if I had the conviction of a particular situation, I would have accepted it along. Even when other people are complaining about it, I will never complain with them. until I'm convinced that their complaint is genuine. Rather, I will have one with different school of thought. I've seen people, even professionals, who tell them, why you may be doing engineering drawing? What are the relevance? I will tell you the skills that this will. I'm sure some of you are laughing now because why did I carry the board on why? Now, engineering drawing has a skill trapped in it that is called organization. Organization. Management of resources, management of space. They will give you a small sheet of paper and they will expect you to put a diagram within a big diagram within that small sheet of paper. And you have to label the diagram and find a way to put your name somewhere auspicious enough that you know that this particular diagram originates from you. It's a skill. We've seen people work in the marketplace who are sent for meetings, conferences, and when they come back with shabby reports. Reports that you will read it, you will need it to come and explain to you some of the details in it. And that's what engineering drawing teaches. It teaches you the ability that when you finish with that diagram and your documentation of your report, whoever is taking it to assess you doesn't need your presence here. What you have submitted should be teaching enough for him to comprehend and say, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those are courses. They may not be too relevant to what you want to study, but again, they have some hidden skills that are trapped in them, and you must find a way to be able to bring them out. I look at that in 101, which is the engineering drawing, and that's the only thing I can pick. And if that is the only stuff, that's plenty. Now, those are general courses. I'm going to be fast now to make use. I will look at the field of agricultural technology, then I will look at the field of competency. I will just go through them, mention like 2020 skills in each of them. But trust me, when we talk about any field that we want you to stay for 4 years in university, you should have a minimum of 60 to 80 different skills, both technical skills and soft skills inside it. So you can imagine you are studying a course and you have an average of 60 skills in it, and at graduation time you cannot point to one. That's change. That's change. There is critical course of study in the university that when properly dissected, that you cannot get an average of 60 different skills in it. How will you graduate from such a course of study and you cannot point to one after 4 years, after 5 years? This is what I can do. Dr. Ade mentioned something about skills and competence. At least you should have a skill before you begin to talk of competence. Your competence. In fact, the third version is that you are beginning to translate that competency into next generation, whether for yourself or for the organization you work for. It's another level. It's another level. And mind you, by the time you use your competency to solve a problem, you save money for the organization. And if you are using it to solve a problem with respect to yourself, then definitely you will be creating wealth out of it. So they are all linked together. So I'm just going to mention these skills because when I come again, I'm going to mention the skills in different other fields. And you need to begin to look at them. And by the time you understand some of this, you come to realize that your program is not just to come to class and go back home. There is really more to it. Remember, for you to be able to learn those skills and get them to competency level, you need mentorship. Just like the other speakers have mentioned, mentorship. Today we see a lot of people who run away from mentorship. Nobody can force you to do what you don't want to do. So if you go to someone and the person is not mentoring you well, look for another person. Follow closely. Follow closely. So let me just quickly mention them because of our time. I'm looking at agricultural technology, and I'm picking agricultural extension, economics and resources. Right? I'm picking only that course, and I'm just going to mention some of the courses. One of the courses I saw in there is agricultural studies field experimentation. In my own institution, we start ARE 202. ARE 202. So it's a popular course in the agriculture, in the school of agriculture. And what that course, that course is loaded with so many skills, so many. It teaches you how to do various types of sampling, fundamental sampling, strata sampling, strategic sampling, random sampling, different types of sampling. And there are advantages and disadvantages. And why do we need them? It teaches different types of sampling. That course teaches it. It also teaches hypotheses. How do you formulate hypotheses? How do you test hypotheses? How do you analyze the result of your hypothesis? That course teaches it. It's not just about the aim, it's about the skills that are there. That course teaches different types of variables, teaches different types of probabilities. Now, putting all of those components together, that course alone, learn the softwares and other things that make them happen. It's enough for you to start making living. Half of it. It's enough. You can make living half of it. In fact, if you develop it to a reasonable point, you can specialize and become a consultant, even as a student for that field. But we've seen students who graduate from this school of agriculture, and the only thing they are doing is looking for a job. Then the question will be, out of the numerous skills that are available in the field of study, your field of study, which one resonates with you and which one can you? Then they'll be looking at you. This is a course at 200 level. And when you have such students have a score A, and they will jump their head over the roof for scoring A and knowing not to. So we are saying when you get a course, what are the things to look out for this? What are the skills in there? And when you identify the skills, how do you learn them? And when you identify how to learn them, or in the process of identifying how to learn them, who are professionals in this field, in my environment? Then build a relationship and serve. Your generation will be ready to serve. We serve our own generation. We serve our parents. Don't wait to be called. No. I will mention one of them when it comes to personal branding. Very, very important. You have brain, but you don't have money. And the only kind of friends that come to you are friends that have brain and they don't have money. You will suffer. Because you have brain, one of the people that will come to you is the people that doesn't have brain but they have money. So that they complement your life and make your journey very easy. You have brain, you have no money, you have no connection. And all the people that come to you are the people who have brain, they don't have connection, they don't have money. You will suffer. Because what would have happened to you is that maybe you have somebody who does not have brain, who does not have money, but has connection. So that if you have it to yourself, you are giving the person brain, and the person is giving you the necessary connection. At the end of the day, you have a world view that is balanced as a student, such that you'll be able to forge ahead in life with what you really want to do. We've seen a lot of students who graduate, they are no rangers. They have nobody around them. They are scarce of resources, human resources. Even while they are young, then you can tell what will become of them when they are old. We discuss all of that when it comes to personal branding, but that's how it starts. Configuring your environment in such a way that you know exactly what you want to do. One of the speakers mentioned intentionality. You have to be intentional with what you do. Public school is not just a shy space, it's not just to come around. You have to be intentional. Each courses you have to be intentional. What you mean by take away from that course? Very, very important. Even when the national denomination, you have to unravel it and do that yourself. So in 202, all of those skills are available. There's another course at 300 level. They call ARE 305, macroeconomics. Macroeconomics. Very, 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 very long. It's a skill. And there are so many software that can help you to do empirical investigation, whether in the finance industry or manufacturing industry or agricultural industry or whatever industry, even in the energy. We've seen a lot of agricultural graduates who obviously end up becoming experts, economic experts, financial experts, energy experts, computing experts, just because of their skills. They are able to look at situations at a bigger level. That is what macroeconomics teaches. And it's a big skill on its own. And there are a lot of software that can help you to adjust data and analyze them to be able to provide solutions in that particular arena. We also have ARE 315 that talks about project planning. Project planning. Again, about 3 years ago, one of the highest paid certifications is project management. So the price is changing, but how will you be able to take away project planning from any field of study or from any walk of life? So this is a robust skill. And that's what a singular course is looking at in the School of Agriculture. And you see students who graduate from that, they can't even plan in their life, talk less of planning for any other organization. So you need to begin to look at those things, very, very important. We also have ARE 312 that talks of policy. In fact, policy development as a skill is a skill that is sought after anywhere in the world. What is a policy? A policy is a statement of intent that is backed up by law or backed up by the law that covers that particular institution. It becomes a policy. And that is what that course is looking at. How do you develop policy for agriculture? How do you develop policy for education? Policy for creating frameworks that define an issue at 300 level. At 300 level. These things are in your course of study. But you must be able to sit down and look at them. How do I bring them out? We explain to you that in the course, we are not just going to the class. Are we having lecture now? Oh, they postponed it and we start dancing. That thank God they cancel the lecture. Or they did not cancel the lecture, they don't ask questions. They don't know what next. These are the things you should have done your own homework. That's what the exam teaches you. The ability to be able to make a note. You make a note out of a course of study, out of a course before the lecturer comes. So that you can ask the right question. Even when the lecturer is going south, you say, sir, you are going south. Based on my findings, this is what I discovered. Are we still on the same page? No, we don't ask students who do that. They collect everything, who fly and sinker. And at during the exam, they ask, can we get area of concentration? Because they want A. A is good. But they are saying that what about the trap skills in each of those courses? How do you bring them out and make it get out of it? So at 300 level, the curriculum is already teaching policy. And this is something people still learn, even at governments. Even governors go for retreats to learn policy And here is someone at 300 level exposed to policy development. And yet, he never sees anything right in it. Are we together? 310 teaches microeconomics, theory of consumption, theory of investment, monetary and marketing capitalization analysis. 300 level. Those skills alone, Dr. Hassan Abdullah, I wouldn't know this around, is enough. That you want to set up any financial institution within any locality. These skills, 300 level, is enough for you to bring to the table and say, this is how you want to marshal and get it done. You know, he was mentioning something when he was having his lecture and said, when you tell someone that, oh, I studied computer science, and he said, is that how you study it? And you couldn't add some of the things that you have been able to do within that field, then you are not done anything. We've also mentioned it, and sure Mrs. Stella will also mention that. Right? So CSC 101 at 400 level teaches agricultural finance. Right? Today, one of the biggest problems that we have in Africa is food security. So you are studying agricultural technology, and you cannot provide different means, advertisements of agricultural financing. It's a skill. It's a skill. 409 at 400 level teaches business analysis. It's a skill. There are a lot of software that can help you to do analysis across board. If that's the only thing you want to develop your competence skill, it's enough for you for life. You don't need too many things. You don't need to know too many things to get on board. That's what we're saying. And that's why you realize that for you to graduate from any university, you possibly would have accumulated an average of 170 to 170. Some people have made up to 190 credit units to graduate. So if you divide that by an average of 3 units, it's a whole lot of courses that you have studied. So which means average from your 100 level to your 500 level, you have taken an average of maybe 60 different courses across the line. And you finish those courses, and you're asking you what do you know? You are doing your hand like this. You do 60 courses, 100 level to the graduation points. And at least each of the courses must have a skill. Some may have 5. Like I mentioned, how to do. And I'm not going to one. Come on. That's the service. That's mockery of knowledge. That's changing of intellect. You have to get to understand all of this. All right, I will mention that for agriculture, I think I will need to rest because I will not talk about computing, which is also the area of specialization. But permit me to just mention them for 2-3 minutes, then I will continue where we go. We are studying any course in the field of computing, computer science, cybersecurity, software engineering, data science, information system, information technology. You are sitting on a gold mine. You are sitting on a gold mine. And you need to wake up. You need to wake up. You need to wake up because it's loaded. I can tell you an average of over 100 different skills that's inside all of your course of study from 100 level to 500 level. That you only need one to make a living. You don't need too many. If you have the capacity to know 4 or 5, like some of us, or if you don't have the capacity, just catch one, and develop yourself competence level, and begin to see how you can master it to turn them to words, whether for yourself or for the organization you work with. That's the logic. That's the logic. I come to realize that there's a course that cut across at 200 level. Regardless of what you want to study, they call it digital design. They call it digital design. if you are in the school of computing, regardless of your course of study, that course is sacrosanct. But unfortunately, students don't understand the enormous skills that is trapped in digital design. They think it's just about logic gates, and it says no, it's not logic gates alone. The logic gate is to help you to be able to draw logic, to build your memory, to create designs of any kind. That's what that curriculum is all about. So you'll be using some electronic components to create some gates and logics and create some circuits. Yes. But the overall result, the resulting effect of that course is your ability to be wired enough to create designs of any kind. Because your course of study does not limit you to any space of the marketplace. The course. Have you ever been to any organization where they don't need computing? They don't need computer science. They don't need software engineering. They don't need cybersecurity. No organization. No organization in the world. So it will be wrong for you to begin to look at that course. They call me my school, they call me CSC 200. But the course title is digital design. It will be wrong of you to be looking at that course from one perspective. Even Paul did not want you to look at life from one perspective. The minimum you can look at life should be three. That's why you have your body, your soul, and your spirit. So you can look at this in multiple dimensions. And that's the only one I will mention here. Because if I begin to unravel and break down your courses for you, you will be amazed how blessed you are, and you don't know. You will be amazed that you are sitting on gold mines, and you don't know. Just like Jacob told himself, he said, I've been in this place all these nights, and I never knew that God is here. So it's possible for you to be studying a course, you are still on gold mine, and you don't know. You can imagine somebody stayed in a place for 24 hours, and in waking up, you just realize that this place I am, I never knew that God is here. The same way we have so many people studying computing, they never knew they are sitting on gold mine. In fact, some will graduate and go and learn the trade and work because they've been on that program for 5 years, but they never knew they are sitting on gold mine. Digital design is designed in such a way to help you to create design for anything. For anything. For anything. Remember, there is a part of this course that is called sequential logic gates. How many of you remember that? Sequential logic gates. How does sequential logic gates? Well, it's like I push you, you push me, you push out, the other one push. That also. So it's like I push you, the other person push, the other person push. So it's a cascading kind of system. Even though there are switches, in real life, there are issues that causes ripple effects. It's a law of ripple effects. That is sequential logic gates. And we have it in different systems. We have it in different systems. You must be able to find out exactly do you want to build. It is not just about building small gadgets. No. What do you want to build? You may not be too good. You may be studying computer science and you are not good in building systems. But you might be good in building people. That is digital design. You might not be good in building people, and you might not be good in building systems, but you are good in building business. That is what the digital design says. 30204 is all about. And that's a 4 level. So which means if you understand the logic behind it, you still have a minimum of 3-4 years to become an expert only in that area. I told you of my experience. At 300 level as a student, electrical and electronics engineering students, we were doing a particular course. 200 level, 200 level. and I have issue with a particular system design. I struggle with that course. I nearly failed that course. And I one day at after I graduated, I realized that before I graduated, I realized that I never took ownership. But I took ownership when I graduated. I realized that this thing that you needed to be completed. But it really tortured me. Emotionally, it tortured me. Grade-wise, it tortured me. So I find that this thing I need to look at it. So I went back to study system. And I just realized I have a good use of building a system. Because of the experience I had with that course, I had to go back. What exactly was in this course that gave me trouble? Today, I'll be able to translate that knowledge into communication systems, into security systems, into business systems. When I was doing my MBA, I said, I don't read books because business management is about building system and managing the system. And because at 200 level, a particular system is created, I already studied what a system is, and I can get the purpose and the rudiments of how to go about it. So that's what your courses are meant for. Your courses are not just meant for you to have a grade. No. It's meant for you to unravel hidden craft skills within them and implement it. Until you begin to do this, schooling may not be too apparent. It may look like a waste of time. Because again, like I mentioned, the definition is wrong for courses, and the experience is being sold. And because the experience is not fanatic, the result obviously will not be something to celebrate. So which means you might need to go to the basics and ask yourself, why am I here? And it's my prayer that God will help us all in Jesus. All right, thank you for your time. Permit me to stop here.